So good afternoon and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So as part of animal tissue culture, today we will be doing stem cell technology. So for your level, we are going to discuss different types and how exactly the stem cells are being harvested and cultured. Okay. Whereas the when you go in your MSc and study for the further topics and all, you might need to study all about the enzymes and the proteins, transcription factors which are required to maintain the stem cell. Okay, so stem cell is like they can renew themselves, so they never get over unless until the person is aging. Okay, so for your syllabus, I have covered the entire topic, like how much is required. So let's study that. So what are stem cells? So they are different from the other cells of the body in that they have ability to differentiate into other cell or tissue. So what does it mean? It means that if you have stem cell, it can be differentiated into hair, bone, kidney, heart, anything. Okay. Now, this ability allows them to replace cells that have died. So that's why many times it is also often being said that when a woman is pregnant, okay, and if she has any organ damage is there, so from the fetus, the stem cells goes and repair the damage. So this is like, the ability of the stem cells in order to replace the damaged cells. Now, with this ability, they have been used to replace defective cells or tissue in patients who have certain diseases or defects. So, even though this has got certain 20% of cases have shown the positive outcome, whereas still this work, the stem cell therapy is under progress only. Like it's not been able to replace the entire defective tissues and cells. So it is still under the process. Like the still studies are going on. Okay, so what are the characteristics of these stem cells? So they are blank cells. What does it mean, blank cells? It means they are unspecialized. So you cannot say that they are going to become hair or bone or kidney or liver. So they are just blank. That is at the zero level. So from this level, it can go and become something else. It can differentiate into the other types of cells. They have the capable of dividing and renewing themselves for long periods of time, proliferation and renewal. Now, this is something you need to understand. So, you have got the stem cell. Okay. Now, we know that whenever a cell divides, it gives you two cells, right? Two daughter cells we get. Now, in the case of stem cells, what you get is one will be your daughter cell and another will be your stem cell. So, it is going to renew itself. And that's why the number of stem cells always remains constant. Okay. Now this cell will go and differentiate into different tissue or cell types. They have the potential to give rise to specialized cell types or the differentiation. So this one I was talking about. So what are the three characteristics? That is, first they are the unspecialized. Then they have the capacity to divide and renew themselves and have the potential to give rise to specialized cell types. That is by the differentiation process. Okay. Now stem cell differentiation. So we have got the three levels of stem cells. So first one is totipotent. Now this is important. These are important ones which you need to remember for your exam. So okay, exam point of view, this is important. Now, so first one is your totipotent stem cell. So what does it mean? It has the unlimited capability and have the ability to form extra embryonic membranes and tissues, and itself forms the embryo. So this can form the embryo and all the other post-embryo tissues and organs. An example is itself the embryo. So we know that whenever fertilization takes place, you know that morula, blastula, everything forms, right? And at the blastocyst level, you can actually harvest the cells. So those are also called the embryonic stem cells. So we can use those cells also in order to further differentiate into the different organs and tissues. Now, this arrow means it is going to renew itself. Okay. Then we have got the pluripotent stem cell. These cells are capable of giving rise to most but not all tissues of an organism. Example is inner mass cells. Then again, this is also capable of renewing itself. Now, after this, we are going to get the multipotent stem cells. So, they are committed to give rise to cells that have specific functions. For example, blood stem cells. So from the blood stem cells, you're going to get the platelets, white blood cells, your RBCs, everything you're going to get. Okay. Now, at what stage you can have your totipotent, pluripotent, and multipotent. So totipotent means after the fertilization, 1-3 days of the embryos. Pluripotent when it is at the blastocyst level, and multipotent, that is your fetal tissues, cord blood, and the adult stem cells. Now, from where you get the adult stem cells? This is from the bone marrow. Okay. Now, fetal tissue, cord means that umbilical cord is there, right? So nowadays, like in the private hospital, it is possible to preserve the cord cells. Believing that in future, if suppose the damage is there, any organ failure is there of your baby, you can use these cord cells and then you can allow or give it to the company to so that they can form the liver or kidney, whatever is required. Okay. So in India, many people have done, but I don't know how far it is successful, because abroad it is being done routinely. So whenever delivery is happening, they take the cord cells and they preserve it. Okay. Now the thing is, preservation is costly. Can you tell me why? Pallavi, can you tell me why it is costly, preservation of the cells or tissues? Suppose I have to do for 20 years.
Ma'am, your voice was.
Okay, I'm repeating. We need to preserve the cord cells. Okay. Preservation of the cord cells is costly. Suppose I'm asking for 20 years. Now, why it is going to be costly? That is my question. And this I have already taught in the previous lectures. So, what is the reason? Pratima, do you have any idea?
No, ma'am.
No. Pallavi, what about you? Think. Remember the lecture of preservation of tissues?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So what is that thing? If suppose I'm giving you cells, what exactly you need to do to preserve? You need to,
Cryopreservation.
cryopreservation. So you need to put into the liquid nitrogen, right? Now
Yes, yes, ma'am.
liquid nitrogen evaporates. Even if you keep the container very close, it gets evaporated whenever it comes in the normal temperature. So every time you need to refill the container with the liquid nitrogen. Okay. And you need to buy the liquid nitrogen again and again. So suppose I'm talking about 20 years, right? By the time the baby will become of 20 years of age, if suppose any damage is there, then that person can use his own cord cells so that the company can make whatever is required to that baby. I mean, the baby who has become adult now. So whether it is liver or kidney, right? So they can give these cord cells so that they can form these kinds of organs. So all this entire process is very, very, very costly. So only few people have done in India, but not gone till the formation of the organs. So they have just preserved the cord cells. So I'm not sure how it is going to work. Okay. Don't forget, okay, that's why I'm saying all these lectures are connected. Classification. So this is the main classification of your stem cells. So we have got the embryonic stem cells. So this, as I just mentioned now, so they are harvested from the inner cell mass of the blastocyst after 7 to 10 days after the fertilization. Okay, now what is inner cell mass? So you have got the blastocyst like this, right? Here you have got the cells. These are called your inner cell mass. Now, fetal stem cells, they are taken from the germline tissues that will make up the gonads of the aborted fetuses. Okay, so even this is also happening. So many times you take the stem cells of the aborted fetus, okay, and not the purpose one. Sometimes what happens when miscarriages happens and all, right? So that time the fetus are there. So in private hospitals, they actually harvest the stem cells. Now, umbilical cord stem cells. So, umbilical cord blood will contain the stem cells, which will be similar, which is found in the bone marrow. So now that becomes very specific. Okay, so this will be specific to that particular baby or the individual. Now, placenta derived stem cells. Up to 10 times as many stem cells can be harvested from a placenta as from the cord blood. Then adult stem cells, they can be isolated from the adult tissues. So for example, right now from you, if I want to take the stem cells from where I'll harvest from the bone marrow. Okay, clear? So these are the different types of stem cells. Okay. So now we are going to talk about the inner cell mass now. Okay, so this we know that after fertilization, right? So this is your fertilized egg is there. So we know that ova is there, then sperm comes, fertilization takes place and you get the fertilized egg. Now what happens? It starts dividing, right? So from 1 you get 2, then 4, then 8. So it keeps on going. At that particular age, it is called the totipotent cells. So what is totipotent cells? It means it can be differentiated into any kind. Okay, so it is the unspecialized cells. They are not committed to form anything. So they can be converted, they can be differentiated to any cells. Now they reach the blastocyst stage. Now this portion is called the inner cell mass, or it is your pluripotent cells. Now from there, if you isolate the cells, then grow in the culture media. So what kind of media you're going to use? Yes, tell me the names of the media, animal cell culture media name.
Agarose.
No. Animal cell culture media. You people are not at all paying attention and studying. It is your DMEM media composition. Remember? RPMI.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The pink color media I have shown. That is your animal cell culture. Please go through. Otherwise, it will become difficult. Okay. So, okay, I mean, this slide should come first actually. So, sexual reproduction. So, we know that egg is there, sperm is there, zygote forms embryo, and then we get the baby. Sorry, the stages, I mean, the slides became here and there. This is another representation. So, you have got the fertilized egg, then it starts dividing. Okay. Now, if suppose a figure is given, so this becomes your totipotent. Now these are your inner cell mass, the pluripotent. Okay. And then you get the tissue differentiation. Okay. So whichever you are interested, you can get, actually develop that particular tissue. Now over here, it is not like that you're putting into the culture media and then you are getting the ear or kidney or liver. The thing is that you need to provide the specific growth factor. Remember in the media chapter, in the media lecture, we studied about this. So it needs specific growth factors, minerals, etc. so that you can target for the formation of the kidney cells or the liver cells. Okay, so from the blastocyst, from the pluripotent cells, if you want to develop the kidney cells and the liver cells, so you need to provide specific growth factor which is going to give rise the kidney cells. Are you getting the point over here? It is not that you're just putting into the media and it will automatically just start forming the kidney or the liver cells. You need to provide the specific growth factors and the proteins which is going to induce the formation of the kidney cells. So that time it is called induced pluripotent cells. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the same thing. So, how you're going to make the kidney or the heart muscles from the embryonic cells? So, you have got the inner cell mass, right? And then you start the culture. Now, when you say the special sauce means what? The special, or it is a specific media which is going to give you these cells. Now, what they have done over here is, see, if you see the figure over here, so we started growing kidney in the heart muscles. Now, if the baby is not the baby, sorry, the adult whose cord cells were actually preserved, okay. So suppose we are getting from the cord cells, the stem cells we are getting from the preserved cord cells. So I started growing these stem cells. I've taken special media so that I can prepare or I can allow the growth of the kidney, not kidney, sorry, let us say heart muscle only over here, heart muscle cells. Okay. Now that person was having some hole or some defect in the heart. So now what I'm going to do? I'm going to grow the cells, induce so that it can produce it can differentiate into the heart muscles, and from there I can inject into the heart and it will get repaired. Okay. So these heart muscles will be injected into the heart and it will be repairing. Similarly, in the case of your kidney also. Okay. In the case of kidney, you can have one for liver also. Is it clear how we are doing? The only thing is it depends on the chances whether how far it is going to work actually. So there will be no actually rejection, no question of rejection. Why? Because these are taken from your own cord cells only when you were born. So there won't be any point of or any chance of rejection. Similarly, this is another diagram just showing the what are the possibilities. So see, this is a trophoblast, inner cell mass, culture it. You can have your epithelial cells, pancreas cells, liver cells, neurons, blood cells, heart cells, and finally you can put into the patient, which is called the transplantation. Okay. Yeah. So now again, so when we are reaching over here, okay, so now what is the selection of the nestin positive cells? Now what do you mean by nestin positive? These are the markers which is going to help in isolating these cells. Okay. So how you're going to do? You're going to grow the cells in the media, right? Of course, it is going to adhere onto the surface. It is animal cell lines, right? Now, if suppose those cells are nestin positive, it means what? They are going to be forming the pancreatic progenitor cells, right? So it means what? It is going to produce insulin. So when you see the cells, it is going to look like something like this. So insulin secreting pancreatic islets like clusters. So you know that it is the islets of Langerhans which actually produces the insulin in the pancreas, right? So if the cells are nestin positive, it is going to be your pancreatic cells. Okay. Now, so this you can put into the patients who are having the problem of diabetes. Now, what about over here? This is when you provide the growth factors. Can you see the growth factors over here? It is different here and here. Can you see the growth factors?
Yes, ma'am.
It is laminin. So lamin is present in your neurons, and then you have got the B27 media supplement. So this is what I was talking about. GF stands for growth factor. Your GF stands for growth factor. So even though you started from the same cells, right? Now, when you add different types of growth factor, you are going to get the different cells. Now, when you have all these things, dopamine, serotonin, secreting neurons you can have. Now, where do you use all these things? To treat patients with having the Parkinson disease, Parkinson or Alzheimer is there, right? So there you can try injecting with the dopamine and serotonin secreting neurons. Now, when you listen all this, it becomes very interesting that from your research, you can actually help into the medical field, right? You can help the patients with their recovery. But the only problem with this is that it is actually a slow process. Now, coming to the blood stem cells, this is important to remember. So, from the bone marrow you take, okay. Now, when I say bone marrow, are you getting the idea or the imagination that inside the bone of your femur, okay, thigh bone, it is hollow, and inside that this liquid type of thing is present, that is your bone marrow. Now tell me, what will be the color of this bone marrow? If you actually extract from the bone marrow, what is the color over here? It is going to be like blood color only, okay, because it is having your blood cells also. So it will be the color of your blood. Now what they are doing is, see, You take the sample over here. These are just shown like different kinds of cells are present. You can stroma cells are there, adipocytes are there, right? So your blood vessels are there. Now these stem cells, the blood stem cells are also called hematopoietic cells. Now from here it is multipotential stem cells are there where it is going to give you two types of progenitor cells. Now from here you need to remember. So lymphoid progenitor cells and then your myeloid progenitor cells. Myeloid progenitor cells will give you neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. You have got the macrophages, platelets, and RBCs. Okay. On the other hand, your lymphoid progenitor cells will give you antibody producing B cells, T cells, and the natural killer cells. Can you remember? So what you need to remember is there are two types from your hematopoietic stem cells. You get your multipotential stem cells. Okay. Totipotent, pluripotent, and once you get lymphoid progenitor cells and myeloid progenitor cells, here it has been decided to be differentiated. Okay. Now, again, I repeat, from myeloid progenitor, you're going to get your neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, macrophages, and the platelets, RBCs. Now, initially it is monocytes and then it gets mature into macrophages. Okay. Now, over here, in the case of lymphoid, it is your B lymphocytes which produces antibodies, T lymphocytes, and natural killer cells. Clear? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
So, this is important. Please remember. Rest all you can leave. Okay. Now, how exactly you need to carry out? So, first you isolate the individual stem cells population. Now, if suppose you are doing from the adult person, okay, so you will actually isolate from the bone marrow you will take. So, once you take the bone marrow, there are chances that you will have the normal cells also. The differentiated cells, like bone cells will be there, right? Calcium producing bone cells will be there. So, you need to actually isolate only your stem cells. So you need to ensure that the cells retain their functionality and potential to differentiate. So while handling, if suppose you're giving a heat shock or a cold shock you are given to the cells, what will happen? They start losing their functions. Okay, and eventually what will happen? They will die and they will not adhere to the your surface where you are going to provide the media. Now, characterize and track stem cells population. So what does it mean? It means that you need to confirm that they are the stem cells and not your differentiated normal cells. Okay. Now, how you're going to confirm this thing? There are certain stem cell markers. If you just see those markers are present, markers mean the expression of certain proteins. Okay. If they're present on the surface of the stem cells, then you can confirm, yes, those are the stem cells only and not the normal differentiated cells. Okay. You need to ensure that they are transplant ready. Now, culture the stem cells in a stable or a stable multi-pluripotent stage free from the mutations to sufficient quantity. So you need to grow a lot. Okay, so it's not like you have harvested and directly you can inject. You need to start growing the stem cells to see whether it is able to reproduce itself, renew itself. It is maintaining its stem cell property, that is to renew and repair, right? So that property it is maintained, so that needs to be checked before you inject or transplant into a body. Now, enable economical expansion to make a cell therapy reality. Differentiation, control and activate stem cell differentiation to desired lineage. Now, you need to control. Now, how are you going to control? By using the certain growth factors. Okay. So, in which you are going to differentiate the stem cells as required by the person's choice. So, functionally active differentiated cells finally you should have. Now over here about the animal cloning. So here we are going to discuss about the animal cloning. So how the first clone, that is the Dolly sheep, was produced. So I guess this we have studied in our 11th, 12th also, the Dolly, about the Dolly sheep, right? And after that many other
Yes, ma'am.
transgenic animals and plants were also being made, right? Okay, so just let's see, just revise it once again. As such, nothing is there. Okay, so what they have done over here first, so they have taken the cells from the udder cell, okay, and they have taken the unfertilized egg, removed the DNA. So now who is going to be the mother over here? This one or this one? One or two? Who is going to be the mother over here?
2.
Very good. It is the two because that sheep is providing the egg. Okay. Now the DNA is removed.
Yes.
Now what they have done is they have taken these cells and fused it with that. So we know how the fusion takes place. So remember cell fusion, we talked about different types of techniques.
Electrical cell fusion,
Yes.
polyethylene glycol.
So same way we can also use fusion techniques to fuse DNA as well as the cell. Okay. So when you have DNA and cell, it is better to use your electrical fusion method. So that time what will happen? The membrane will lose its potential and DNA will go inside. Finally, you have got the fused cells. Okay. Now this is your the embryo with the donor DNA. Now you're allowing the embryo to develop. Okay. Now once it has been developed, these inner cell mass they have taken, grown in the culture dish. So you get so many, right? After that, this has been implanted into the surrogate mother. Now what is surrogate mother? This is the third sheep which has got no connection with the first and second, right? So surrogate mother means it provides the uterus for the baby to grow. And finally what you got was the clone of the sheep. Okay, so that was your dolly. Similarly, if I do in the case of humans, so here we have taken the cell from the skin. It's not need not necessary that it has to be from the gonads only. Okay, so we have taken the skin cell, and then here the unfertilized egg is taken. We have removed the DNA. Same, it has been done. Clone it, culture it, put into the surrogate mother. You get the baby. Now this baby is going to have similarity with whom? Yes.
The mother and father, ma'am.
Are you sure?
Father, ma'am.
Majority it is going to have with the father. I mean, both it will be there,
Father.
of course, because here it is unfertilized egg, right? Unfertilized egg means what? Not fused, not fusion with the sperm.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
it will have the characteristics of both. Don't get confused, okay? Okay. Now coming to the applications. So many applications are there. So we can use it for diabetes, spinal cord injury, Parkinson, heart disease. So all these I have mentioned. Genetic based cystic fibrosis, Huntington's. Cystic fibrosis we have discussed. Remember in the CFTR, cystic fibrosis, transmembrane
Yes, ma'am.
chloride channel, right? Yeah. So over there
Yes.
we can use stem cells. Now this is a main actually, like many people are not able to walk after the spinal cord injuries there after major accidents, right? So when they get paralyzed or they lose their capacity, the coordination of the spinal cord with the motor functions, right, with your movement. So there also it will help. You just need to put the stem cells. So all these are going on. It's not like I cannot say that it is there in the practice. Otherwise, everyone would have been, walking now. It is not that successful, but in few cases they have tried. Okay. Now in the case of heart disease also, so bone marrow stem cells has been taken and put into the heart arteries, and they believe that the cardiac functions improves of the person. Okay. Now how they have done, see this is my example, like this is how you do in the lab actually. So you have got the mouse adult stem cells, they're injected into the muscles of the damaged left ventricle wall of the mouse heart. So what they saw after that, the stem cells are actually helping in the regeneration of the damaged heart muscles. So later this is how it is going to actually help. So this they have seen in the lab. In the same way, if suppose I use human adult stems here I have used the mouse. Now, in another case, I'm seeing whether the adult bone marrow stem cells are going to work or not. So same thing, it was injected into the tail of the mouse. Now the stem cells will induce new blood vessel formation in the damaged heart muscles and proliferate of existing vasculature. So what does it mean? See, it was injected over here, right? But it will go into the specific area, it will induce the blood vessel formation, that is called angiogenesis. New blood vessel formation is called angiogenesis. Okay, please understand these terminologies. Angiogenesis, it is your new blood vessel formation. Okay, so you can see that the adult stem cells were actually helping the in regenerating the damaged heart muscle cells. So from these experiments and all, it was thought that okay, maybe in practice also we can bring. Now, in the case of leukemia, what is leukemia? It is your blood cancer, right? So studies show that leukemia patients, they are treated with the stem cells emerge free of diseases. So currently what happens is like from this, like as far as I remember, it will treat and it will increase the survival rate. Okay, it means what? It will give you another 10-15 years to survive, but the problem is that again the cancer comes back. So that problem is still pertaining in this case. Now type 1 diabetes, this also we have mentioned that if you get the pancreatic cells, it will start producing the insulin. So those cells can be injected in order to treat the type 1 diabetes. Okay, now what are the promises of stem cell research? So you have got the cultured pluripotent cells are there, right? Either you can go for the drug development and the toxicity test. So many new drugs have been made and they are tested on these stem cells. So it will tell you whether it is going to affect your cells or not. So you know that nowadays whenever any person is undergoing cancer treatment, you know that they start losing their hair, right? You have seen that people, whether it's a woman or a man, they start losing their hair. Now why that is happening? Because your cancer drugs are also targeting the normal stem cells. So hair means what? Below that we have got the hair stem cells which actually, regrow again and again, giving rise new hair. But once you start taking the cancer treatment, these drugs will kill those hair stem cells, and that's why they start losing the hair. Okay, now it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now it can also be used for the experiments to study the development and the gene control. So anyways, many studies are going on these stem cells now also, and will give the faster gain in the knowledge. So once we have got the better knowledge, we can actually go for the therapy. So whether it is bone marrow, nerve cells, heart cells, pancreatic cells, more knowledge means more insights will be open so that we can understand, okay, here also we can target for the development, or here also we can use it for the treatment, right? Now what happens now? How exactly the mutation happens? So normally you have got the stem cells. It gives on pluripotent, multipotent, and finally you get all different types of cells, right? As we have seen, the lymphoid progenitor cells and the myeloid progenitor cells. Now what happens in the case of leukemia? In the case of leukemia, your stem cell gets mutated. Okay. Now what will happen? Instead of going this pathway, it starts producing the leukemia cells, and that is the uncontrolled growth of the cells. Now, if you withdraw the blood of a leukemia person, what kind of blood you will see? So normally you see red color, right? But the leukemia people will have very pale color or sometimes white in color. So that is the problem with the leukemia. Okay. Now, what are the unknowns in stem cell or the cloning research? So it is uncertain that human embryonic stem cells in vitro can give rise to all the different cell types of the adult body. So even though we say that from these tissue cells you can get liver, kidney, ear, stomach, I don't know what all is there, but till now it has not been proven 100%. Okay. It is unknown if stem cells culture in vitro will function as the cells do when they are the part of the developing embryo. So even though they say that it is going after injecting the cells, it is repairing. So all these have been done at the lab level. But in vivo, that is in reality, when it is injected into the patient, how far it has shown the positive outcome is still unknown. Now, what are the challenges? Stem cells need to be differentiated to the appropriate cell type before it can be used clinically. Now, for this, you need to know the proper growth factors, minerals, nutrients required so that they can differentiated properly. Recent abnormalities in chromosome number and structure were found in 3 human embryonic stem cells. So, what they're saying is that once you start doing the harvesting of the embryonic stem cells and you culture in the lab, there abnormalities like chromosome number and structure were found. Now, if you have less or more of chromosome number, what will happen? Aneuploidy will take place, right? So the person is not going to be normal then. So stem cell development or proliferation, it must be controlled once placed into the patient. So this is a problem. So once it is injected into the patient, you have no control because it depends on the patient now what kind of food habit he or she is having, where it is going, how the cells are going to react inside the body, it's not under our control, right? It is becoming in the control of the patient's body. There might be chance of rejection also sometimes. Yes, and about the contamination. So this also we have studied. So whenever we are doing animal cell culture, high chances of contamination will be there from the viruses, bacteria, fungi, and mycoplasma. So sometimes we use feeder cells. So that is feeder cells means what? We use mouse cells and to grow the we use mouse feeder cells to grow the embryonic stem cells. It will result in a xenotransplantation. It means what? You are using foreign object into your body, right? So that will become a FDA complication. What is FDA stands for? Any idea? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
Actually, whatever we do, we take, we eat, the drugs is there, it has to be approved by the FDA. It is Food and Drug Association. Okay. So whatever drugs is there, everything, whatever we eat also, okay, it has to be approved by the FDA. Then only it can be brought into the market for the consumer use. So ethical problems are there. So there are many people. See, I don't know whether in this class I have mentioned or where, I don't remember. So initially when diabetes was detected, so what was the method they were using? So they were giving the bovine insulin or the pig insulin to the patient, right? So there was ethical problems like why, using the animals into the humans. So that problem was there because to get the insulin you need the pancreas. To get the pancreas you need to butcher the animal. So many ethical issues were coming, whether it is morally right or not doing all such cases. So all these problems were there. So such issues were coming, and the thing is like many people started saying that humans shouldn't become the god, like creating, cloning the animals, cloning the humans. So when they started doing the animal cloning, there was questions whether we can do for humans also or not. So if you start cloning a human also, then the normal birth of the baby, and that which is actually natural phenomena, everything is going against the nature. And you know that when you do something against the nature, so nature takes the action in very bad way, right? So all these ethical problems were coming. So still, to a limited state, the stem cells research is still going on. So yes, people started saying that our humans have started playing the god or not. So many people started raising these questions, and they told not to do all this thing. Actually, the problem started from a lab was there which actually created clones. Okay, so they have taken they have taken these cells from one person who was actually very strong, very smart. So these agents are there, right? Which actually, the secret agents are there, right? So they're very smart and very strong. So the cells were taken from them, and so many clones were made actually to make the army as a defense strategy. Okay, so instead of making the weapons, they were making these clones. So even if they die, no one is going to cry. In that way, the strategy was there. So many clones were made. So many people were paid to go for the surrogacy. So many women were hired, and since it was cloning, so they were giving so many growth factors, injections were given. So it was all unethical. So when it was came into the existence, the government came to know, so that lab was shut down. So even though they say that they were doing for the defense, but it was not correct way of making the army. So all these things were making complications. So that's why the stem cell research has got now limitations. Yes. So now, if suppose as we were talking about that, they started preserving the cord cells, saying that in future whatever organs you need, we will give you. So are you going to make the cloning factories? So it's like, my kidney is not functioning, so my blood group is this. So if my stem cells are preserved, I can ask them to make kidney for me. So all these things are, are in the market. So if you know that the kidney, liver, heart, they are always in the market, it means that once you die in India, the organ donor thing is very less, but outside it is there. So if you're voluntarily giving, so the moment you die, the organ collection people will come and they will take your organs, right? And then they put into the market. So they say that, okay, blood group O positive is there, kidney, liver, heart, everything is functional. It is available in the market. So the private hospitals will then claim for it. So that's how this business is going on actually. Okay. Now this is the last thing. This is again a new thing actually. Okay. It's not been followed by many people. So it is called stem cell tourism. It is the internet-based industry in which stem cell procedures are advertised to the public as a proven cure in the uh, majority of cases, resulting in patients and family traveling overseas to obtain the procedures which are not proven or a part of FDA approved clinical trials. So what does it mean? It means, like, for example, I'm saying that I have this technology by which I can give you a very good heart. Okay. And now suppose you need the heart. So you're not taking any hospital's advice, you're not taking the FDA approval, anything. Secretly, you're just going with your family, traveling, reaching that place and getting the procedure done. So over here, none of the hospitals or the medical staff is involved. Okay. So here it is going to be very private. So these procedures have not gone through the vetting process of clinical research. So it means what? It is not been undertaken by the clinical trial people. So this procedure is going to be good for you. We don't know. You wanted heart, we gave you heart and transplanted into your body. Now we don't know whether it is going to function for how many years. Okay. If any complications are there, we have no idea. Although for the general public, this advertising may sound authoritative, for translation doctors and scientists, this leads to exploitation of the vulnerable patients. So what does it mean? See, suppose you're in urgent need. If I ask you to give me 1 crore and I know that you're financially strong, so you definitely are going to give me, right? So this is how the people started exploiting, because this has become the black market thing then. So these procedures lack the reproducibility, the rigor that's required, and the great deal of interest in educating the public and patients, families and doctors who deal with patients requesting stem cell cleanings. Okay. So this is something new which even I heard for the first time. That's why I added over here. I've seen in the series and all, but yeah. So that's all about the stem cell cloning, stem cell technology and the animal cloning. Any doubts over here? Now one more topic is left actually. So maybe by next class I'll take. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope you like the video. So please share and subscribe, and share with your friend circle also. So let's study together for the upcoming exams. Any comments and suggestions are also appreciated, and any queries are there will be solved quickly. You can also write to us on Excelsior Academy 1228@gmail.com. Keep watching, keep excelling with us. Thank you.